Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sharon Oyella, and this is part 2 of our small round Easter bunny. In part 1 we made the body itself, and if you've missed that video, that can be found up here in the iCard, and you can click that link at any time during this video. This is part 2, like I said. In part 2 we're going to be doing the face of the bunny. So for this video tutorial I'm using a blunt end yarn needle. You don't have to use the same, but I find this one very handy. This is a size 13. I used a strand of black yarn and a strand of pink yarn. You can choose any color you want for the nose. If you like that little bit of color in the cheeks, I did that using blush, and you can use any color of your own choice, and I use a Q-tip to apply it. For the eyes, you can add in a little bit of white using white yarn, or you can do what I've done here and add a small dot of paint. This is just regular craft paint. Those things are optional, of course. And you'll also need a pair of scissors. Alright my friends, we can get started, and remember all of the instructions in this video are also in the written pattern itself. You'll find everything that I've said here also in the written pattern. In the next clip we start off with that finishing yarn tail that we ended with in part 1. So let's get started. And pull tight. Now you're going to decide, do you want indents for your eyes? You don't have to do this, it's not necessary. You can just hide your yarn tail now, but if you want the indents, what we're going to do, so we're going to bring this yarn tail, if we want the indents for eyes, into the back of the bunny where the tail is going to be hiding it. And we're going to count in between the 13th and 14th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So in between here, bring it up, and we're going to knot off here. It's important to knot it off because once you pull on this yarn tail, it's going to suck it up the wrong way if you don't knot it off here first. So let's knot it off there. So right here, there's going to be an indent made in the back of the bunny, and we're going to be covering that indent up with the bunny tail when we're all done. So we're going to do the indents for the eyes, we're also going to add the color in, and we're going to do the nose, and they're all going to come through the same spot in the back of the bunny. So we're going to do the eyes first. We're going to bring the yarn through and come out in the front. You want to make sure that this hole is centered in between your eyes, of course. So we're going to bring it in between the 8th and 9th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So where the first eye will go, pull it through. We're going to wrap over the 8th row. So just go over on top of that 8th row, in between the 8th and 7th row, and come out right where you went through the first time. Right back out where the bunny tail is going to be, and now we're going to pull. You don't have to pull very hard, just slightly. And I like that indent there, so I'm just going to knot off right here just to hold that indent so I can get the other one done. Okay, going back in through the back where the bunny tail is going to be, and out in between the 8th and 9th over about 4 or 5 stitch holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Let's see. There's 5 in between there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the center. You see the back here? It's going to go in between the eyes. Pull it through, wrapping over that 8th row and back down and out where that bunny tail is going to be, and pull. And this time I pinch together, so put my finger in the first indent, my thumb in the second indent, and just pinch together and pull. And that gives me a little bit of a nose as well. Okay, if I'm happy with that, I'm going to knot off, go through that loop and pull it tight. And that's all we have to do for that. Now we're going to take this yarn tail, we want to hide it inside the body, so we're just going to pull it through and bring it anywhere else away from that area. Just pull it through a stitch hole. And we're going to pull on it slightly and cut. Pulling on it will help it spring back into the body. So let's do the eyes and the nose. We'll do the eyes first. I just cut a strand of black yarn. I've already threaded mine. And I'm going to take it through the back where that bunny tail is going to be, and I'm going to come up in between the 8th and 9th row where that indent is, bring it through. I'm going to wrap over and bring it back through where that bunny tail is going to be and pull. I'm not going to pull too tight because it's going to just suck the color in. You don't want to do that. Just pull it in slightly, or lightly I should say. I want to do it again. So I'll bring it through. And again, don't pull tight. I'm going to go on the middle or center on the side, and I'm going to wrap over horizontally. Okay, and if you pull too tight, you can just always reach in there too and just pull it up. I think that will do the trick. So now I'll just do the other eye. Now I can just knot these two yarn tails off here, and then I'm going to carry them away from that area. I'm going to cut them up a bit shorter. I'm going to thread both the yarn tails through my needle, and now I'll just carry these away from that area. Anywhere where the legs are going to be sitting, just pull it through, pull on them slightly, and cut. Alright, so for this little guy here, I added in a dot of craft paint. It's white, and I just used a pin, dipped it in there, and just lightly dabbed it in. If you overdo the white, you can always use black and go over it. If you would rather not do that, then you can use a strand of white yarn and do the same thing that we just did, and come through the back and come up anywhere you want that white to show, and wrap over just a little tiny space, and then back through where you came through the first time. And again, don't pull hard, just pull very light. And if you're happy with that, then you can do the other side. And now all you have to do is just knot these off, and again, carry them away and cut them free. Let's do the bunny nose. And you can choose any color. I've got pink here. You can use purple or blue. And now I'll just bring it through where that tail is going to be hiding it. I'm going to come up just below the eyes there. Let's see, right about here. And for this one, I'm just going to wrap around. So I'm going to bring my needle here and out here, and I'm just going to keep wrapping until I have the size of nose that I want. And again, don't pull too tight, you'll just alter the shape. Okay, so if you wanted to have a little line here, like I have here, then just bring it through one more time. But instead of coming out the other side, just bring it down a couple stitch holes down this way in the center. And now I'll just run it up through here and out through where that tail is going to be. And I'll just pull lightly. And there we go. Now again, I'll just knot these off and do the same thing that I did for the black yarn tails. And for a little bit of added color, you can take a Q-tip. This is what I do with a lot of my amigurumis. And I just choose a blush color that I like, and you just rub it into the blush with your Q-tip and start off very lightly. If you put it in too dark and you're not happy with that, it won't come off. So I always go very lightly at first and just kind of build up the color. And of course that's optional as well. Alright my friends, that brings us to the end of part 2. You can click that link that's popping up on your screen. That will bring you to part 3 where we're going to be making the ears and the feet. I'll meet you over there.